Hey y'all.
Hey!
So this is some new horror movie shit.
New horror movie shit! It's scary!
Specific!
Scary. Oh, it's specific. I watched Netflix's newest incarnation of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and had one big takeaway question from the entire experience. What the fuck is wrong with us? I'll try not to ruin the ending and don't intend on doing so, but forgive me if I slip here and there, so mild spoiler alerts. But I think it's a little fucked up to take the name of a movie to the extreme and make a literal plotline of the alluded massacre. No, seriously. I feel personally obligated to warn everyone with the intention of watching this movie to know that they may watch some potentially triggering images of violence. I'm not giving away too much in saying that one of the characters is a survivor of a school shooting, which in this day and age is a painfully realistic plotline in somebody's life. But it's not fiction, it's real life. I feel personally obligated to warn everyone with the intention of watching this movie to know they may watch some potentially triggering images similar to real life. And that's what got me thinking, what the fuck is wrong with us? Is that what the director thought when he learned back in 2019 that 11 mass shootings had happened since Columbine? Before finally deciding just to fucking stop keeping count? Or is that what the screenplay writer thought when they decided to end the story as they did? Now, I'm not giving away too much in saying that a sequel is heavily hinted at. After all, are you surprised that they would try to make it into a franchise? The horror genre has been doing this for decades. Laurie Strode and Michael Myers have been at it for like 80 fucking years. She's not even that old. But despite the years of allegory, illusion, and satire and horror, we haven't learned. So, what the fuck is wrong with us? 11 Columbines 3 years ago was 12 too many. And the true fear of being a femme body in a misogynistic, patriarchal world still exists. I feel personally obligated to warn everyone with the intention of watching horror movies made between 1900 and 2022 to know that they may be watching some potentially triggering images similar to real life. Because humans have been monsters in other people's plot lines since we've been around. And sometimes it feels like you're fighting for your life just like the last girl standing. Thank you.
It's called The Right Mistakes. Some people tell me that they want to be like me when they grow up. It makes me nervous when I think about my journey and how I show up. Looking put together all successes and congratulations. It makes me wonder what they still say that knowing the tribulations. But we live in a world where the highs are on display. The lows stay on the low, so we think it's not okay. To be delayed, go astray, be embarrassed and pushed away, yet we slave to obey the perfect standards of today. The thing is, I don't think that we value transparency. When people talk about losses openly, they get some bad popularity and much less solidarity. Amazing how people talk about what you go through so voluntarily. Who wouldn't keep it to themselves? I admit that I do. Most didn't know about my storms until I got through. The pressure of success weighs on young people so heavy. They want to know our future plans when our present isn't ready. So we look at people's stories, someone just bought a house. Now you feel like you're behind, but you don't know about how many times they got denied that they were homeless, got put out. Looking all around, comparing yourself to the masses. You don't have the same past, you don't have the same advances. Judging yourself on a few failures when you don't run out of chances. I done been through enough to know that I can make it out of any situation. My work ethic is unstoppable and I'm confident in my failures to target my concentration. I know that I'm great because I'm becoming who I'm meant to be, not who I think I should be based on someone else's story. And that's Snapchat, Instagram, and real life. Because I know that me trying to live my life based on their highlights wouldn't put me in the limelight, but it was meant for me in hindsight because I got distracted. Watch how you react. And don't listen to those people that feel like your dreams are wasted. That ain't been in your shoes but tell you how to tie your laces. Trying to tell you what to do but don't know half of what you're facing. It's okay to outgrow people that used to give you praises. When you get past what they thought you would, you'll meet some different faces. What I'm trying to say is that we're so hard on ourselves to make it seem like we don't have what it takes. When the real issue is that we just don't realize that we made the right mistakes. So this This next one was actually inspired. I wrote it the night after the first time I came here. I felt inspired by all the Spanish I was hearing. So, this is called La Primera Vez. La Primera Vez. Yo veo tus ojos. Yo sabe. I knew that those eyes were something I could look at for a lifetime. Could maybe be a lifeline, tus ojos. They see how I try to say so much, but mis palabras just don't seem to measure up. They see how I write because it paints the picture that left my mouth stuck. Tus ojos. Of you that overflows with intimacy, and to me, see those ojos, they know how to get to me. They always see more than what most think I mean. La primera vez. Dices mi nombre. You say my name and it sounds like, okay, so you know how some good soul food tastes from your grandma's house? And you've been hungry all day and the food is just hidden? Yeah. It sounds like how that feels. Y mi corazón can't believe it porque mi nombre en tus labios. Your lips make my name sound like the sweetest song I've ever heard. And I can't get enough of it. Feels so good when I run from you. You see, perfection is scary, especially when feelings become of it. Y yo creo que, I hope that my eyes see all that yours don't say. That my lips can make your name sound like music on the quietest of days. That cuando ves a mí, my eyes see you the same way.
She's also this is my second time. Whatever. Like, good job. Girl. Okay. I have 2 poems for you. Both of them are old shit.
Oh, shit!
Okay. It was a gift, a gesture, really, a show of support. A beautiful blue notebook with flowers on the front. It was once filled with empty pages, which held only fine straight lines, but I work, and I critique my work, make it final-ish. When it's ready or ready enough, I focus to make my handwriting neat, to transcribe a finished product deserving of its crisp, clean pages. Often making final edits as I'm writing them, and writing just like a moment. Right now, there's only 13, but I have a feeling by tomorrow there will be more, and more still, as I continue to work and reflect them the best I can. At the time, I had no idea what would become of this gesture, but today, it is my most prized possession. My rough draft notebook, a close second, and even with only 13 poems inside, it holds the truth of me. So, if I'm ever gone, and you've received either notebook, hold it tight, keep it safe, and if you want, every now and then, lean in and listen closely, for you may hear my whispers, as it will surely hold my soul. This is the next one, obviously. Okay. Being in a diner at almost 3 in the morning usually means one of 2 things. Either you're there with friends or family because you've had a good night. You're there because after leaving wherever you were, you're not ready to slink back into your life. Or you're at a diner at almost 3 in the morning because you're empty. Maybe not hungry, just empty. And if you sit at home or in your car, it's just you, well, you and your thoughts, and maybe your thoughts aren't being very forgiving tonight. At least when you're alone in a public place, you can hear life around you. The laughter of that couple in the corner, the murmur of conversation between the men sharing a table in the middle of the mostly empty restaurant, the rattle of the change in the friendly waitress's apron. Maybe you start thinking about why she works here. Maybe you even want to ask her. So when she comes back, you look at her name tag again because you forgot, and you form the question in your mind. But when you go to speak, the words stick to the sides of your throat on the way out like sap on the bark of a tree. So instead, you just nod when she offers the water. All the alone people in diners at almost 3 in the morning are thinking about something or someone. I came because I didn't want to sit in my apartment and stare at nothing while my thoughts throw themselves into every dark corner and space in my mind and shout my name. I came here to be around people and noise, but I didn't need to participate. But instead of asking my waitress, Brittany, a question about her life, or listening to the conversation happening 2 booths beside me, instead of letting the life around me actually distract me like why I fucking came here, I'm here thinking about you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? I didn't mean to do that. Please, continue. You were saying something about best intentions. What's the matter? Oh, you were finished! Oh, well, allow me to retort. What does Marcellus Wallace look like? What? What country you from? What? Why ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English at what? What? English, motherfucker, do you speak it? Yes. So you know what I'm saying? Yes. Describe what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What? Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time. Splat. Go on. He's bald. Does he look like a bitch? What? Does he look like a bitch? No! Then why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch, Brad? Yes, you did! Yes, you did, Brad! You tried to fuck him. Marcellus Wallace don't like to be fucked by anybody except Mrs. Wallace. You read the Bible, Brad? Yes! Well, there's this passage I got memorized, sort of fits the occasion. Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shares the weak through the valley of darkness. For he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers. And you will know my name is the Lord, for I lay my vengeance upon thee.
All right, blah. I got some old shit.
Oh, shit!
My hands begin to ask for validation before my brain catches up to what they're doing. The text says, on a scale of 1 to 10, it reads, but what if I reads, we could be so reads. Hypothetically speaking, if it was going to be someone reads, what magic need I perform for you to ever love me? I begin to ask questions I don't want to know the answers to, but I need to know. Is your inability to love rooted in the hauntings of your own home? Do your floorboards creak with the wailing of permanent poltergeists? Do their cries sound like longing and indecision? Do you dance with the devil under your red Alexa light? Do you fear that the skeletons in your closet will rattle too loud for you to hear my moans? I often wonder if your hesitancy is a product of your own phantoms, or if my demons just don't play well with yours. I wonder if I am too much of a cemetery, like you can never see anything, let alone yourself living there. Do you see these moss-colored tombstone eyes and pray they never adorn your grave? That I am never the marker of a life you left behind. The text reads, hey, I miss you. Reads, what you doing this weekend? I write, do you have a little more room in your halls for a few more bones? Can I scatter myself or cross your bed and become another apparition that you will one day stage or pray away? I ask, will you exorcise me the moment I leave, or let me linger? Become just another dead thing that resurrects itself as a question in someone else's unsent text messages.
Throw it on the floor where people are bored. So I write like Edgar Allan to restore.
Oh, shit! shit!
I want those words, though. I want those to be my words. Anyways, alright, I'm gonna share with you my words. I got 2 quick poems for you guys, and I hope that you enjoy them.
Holy shit!
I don't know. I only have 1 beer. Alright, here we go. He said, think about it like this. You wouldn't blame a hammer for the mistakes of the builder. It's the same with guns. They're just tools that are often misused. Attempting to rationalize this, I recalled my grandfather. See, he too strapped the tool to his waist, was always ready to protect, defend, lay down, set straight, raise walls. Not hell. Meanwhile, well-built houses. Rooted in his purpose, he broke unfriendly ground and raised a family. Though a man of few words, my granddad had 2 tongues, gripped this foreign language and molded tools. Used them the only way he knew how, to build. I wondered if he ever used his hammer outside of its intended purpose. Because apparently people are using Glocks to hammer in nails. They're replacing black cats with AK-47s, swinging double-barrel baseball bats, backyards running red with clumsy hands and open safe boxes, all this misuse. But when used correctly, what do guns make? I mean, other than graves, other than bodies, other than names to echo into the thunder and fire, has your tool engineered anything other than death in the past century? When my grandpa misused his hammer, he broke fingers. When guns are misused, people die. When guns are used as they were intended, people die. A tool's primary function is not murder. You are not building. You are not helping or protecting anyone. Please stop dragging your knuckles through a conversation we should have had decades ago. The word you're looking for is weapon. Thank you.
Don't play poetry!
Yeah, finger guns are fun.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm gonna do another short piece for you guys. This has become like a grieving poem for me.
Grieving shit!
Yeah, but I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little bit, anyways, I hope you guys enjoy it, whatever.
Potentially sad shit.
Potentially sad? I don't know, I use it as like a happy sad. Anyways.
Prepare yourself.
It's not. Anyways, the soundtrack to my earliest memories is composed of David Lee Gaddis and JPEGs.
True.
See, as a child, I used to fall asleep to the sounds of 30 or more people who would all be laughing and dancing to the Hana lullabies a couple of hours before they became wolves that would drunkenly howl their gritos to the moon. See, a long night, sprinkled with a dozen or so noise complaints from the neighbors, was the only way my family ever saw fit to send off any loved one. And to this day, should God decide to call another one of our pack home, well, you can find the rest of us, huddled around a barbecue pit, wrapped in a backyard of memories or possibilities depending on your age, next to a radio that'll be blaring heartaches or headaches depending on your age. See, if there's anything my family knows how to do, other than drink, it's come together. A tradition of outstretched arms has built us stronger than levees, taught us that rains may come and go, but as long as the moon still shines floodlights bright enough to dance to, then there's something to be celebrated. See, my family loves to remind each other that there will always be someone on the other end of the receiver, and that there is an ocean of couches to surf. We love to remind each other that our family legacy is more than just cloudy, drunk memories or life lessons some of us were too young to watch play out, that these family reunion scriptures will be preached to breathe faith into the generations that we give birth to, psalms to remind us that even though we watch over each other more diligently than angels, there are still ghosts and skeletons in our midst that prove we are only human. And on the days when wilting feels like the only direction you can grow, remember, there is divinity in having your spine held up by people who just might love you more than the Heavenly Father Himself, and that no matter how wayward our path may take us, family hands will always be bound by hopes and well wishes. See, I believe God can find themselves in the forgiveness passed down through generations, and even if they can't, I can't think of a better place to start looking. Y'all are beautiful. Thank you.
How y'all doing? I'm nervous as a bitch. All right, so when I feature, I tend to like to do things in like a set. I like it to have some sort of cohesion to it. So even if I gotta force it, that's what I do. So this is a love set. The very first poem is Love Gone Wrong. The second poem is Love to Hate Your Ass. And then the third poem is Love of Glow. The first one is called Shiva. I almost lost myself when I lost you. You kept telling me to leave, so finally I went. And then I went into mourning. Even though it was my hand that dealt the final blow, killed this sick, suffering thing called us, played angel of death and put us both out of our misery. Still I mourned. My Christian upbringing left me wanting. The way that I was taught to bury the dead didn't seem to do this thing justice. So here I am, taking a cue from the Jews and sitting Shiva. Sitting on stools low to the ground to symbolize how low I feel. Uncomfortable and unforgiving, almost on my knees begging, praying for a reprieve from the pain. Jehovah Rapha, I will sit for 7 whole days. A week to think about how weak I've become. Love is meant to strengthen, but all loving you did for me was leave me less of what I was before. My face is clean and my mirrors are covered. There is nothing beautiful here. Just sorrow and lonely and empty waiting on nightfall. Because my mornings are full of mourning. Maybe I will find some solace in sleep, a little piece of peace. Jehovah Shalom. I've been moving slowly, shuffling about. This sadness is too heavy, too thick to walk through. I would try to swim, but my arms are tired, too tired of being thrown up in exasperation. I don't understand why I'm this sad. So very sad for something that never was. I'm not yours, you're not mine. You made that abundantly clear, and I'm the fool for crying over fool's gold. Shining, but of nothing of no real value, too light to withstand the test of time and the fire. We were nothing to you. And as I sit here and weep for the nothing, I feel like nothing, because who mourns at an empty casket? I'm here wearing all black as you parade about in your peacock colors, emerald and purple and gold. You are alive in your world, yet deceased in mine. I guess that makes you a zombie, the walking dead. And the very best that I can hope for is to be able to flee from you this time and not allow you to feast on my flesh again. But it is so hard to run when you've been sitting.
Let's go.
And I've been sitting, Shiva, mourning the nothing that was us. Jesus for deliverance. I used to have a mental breakdown every time I performed that poem. Did you see me do this, Mandy Land, at Bad Metal Jam? I had a nervous breakdown. But thank you, God, for deliverance. Okay, so the next poem is very new. So I have to kind of read it, kind of perform it, okay? So this is Love to Hate Your Ass.
Love to hate your ass!
And the title is Dear His Ex.
Oh, shit!
You mad. You big mad. You plus size mad. Your mad shops at Torrid and Lane Bryant, but I'm not buying it. You're only angry because you didn't get your way.
Yeah!
You wanted to treat him terribly and still expected him to stay, but he didn't. You wanted a punching bag, not a partner. A sponsor, not a significant other. A yes man, not a soulmate, so that you could be helpless and not a helpmeet, and it backfired. Applied so much pressure that you almost broke him, but instead you created a diamond. A precious stone that I could appreciate, that I deserve after all of the lumps of coal that I stupidly tried to love into being worth something. I hate that he had to endure you. But I love how your evil made him value me. And now you're mad. Blaming me for stealing something that you willingly gave away. I guess making me the monster of the under the bed is easier than lying in the bed that you made. I thank God every day that I was put in position to receive my destiny. I thank Him for the audacity of your stupidity. Jesus makes miracles.
Yes,
He turned water into wine and He turned your nigga into mine. Hallelujah! Praise Jehovah Jireh. Jesus makes miracles. He turned water into wine and He definitely turned your nigga into mine. Hallelujah, praise Jehovah Jireh. It's all your fault though. So why are you always crying? And why are you always lying? And acting out, poisoning his child against him, thinking he's the only one feeling the brunt of your bitterness, not realizing that you are contaminating your own well. One day that little girl is going to realize that you sacrificed her well-being to feed your petty, and she will hate you for that. She'll want all those years of wondering if daddy loved her back. She'll realize that you're the one that stole them from her. You'll never have the ability to refund her pain, repay her for the trauma, compounding daily to serve your own interests, you selfish bitch. You claim to be righteous, but right now you need to be on your knees begging for forgiveness and to be delivered from the altered reality that you created of all the lies that you told yourself and everyone else. You've got a mental condition. You know the one where you do something hurtful, then turn around and play victim? I call it poor me pretendinitis. I hope you seek medical attention real soon because you need help. Signed sincerely, his next, his last, his best. Speaking of which, my last poem, okay, I have to give you a story. I don't really slam, I just be doing these poems at slam sometime and it works. So years ago, I had a friend in Austin, amazing poet named Love, and she would do this show called Spitfest.
Yeah, my love.
And it was competition poetry, but not slam. It was head to head, like a rap battle. And I was 100% unprepared, so I took my goofy ass in there and did a love poem. Then this poet, I think it was Twain out of Dallas, he handed me my ass. And it's very like aggressive, like he was all in my face and everything. So just to prove I could, I wrote what I call a battle poem. I never performed it because like I said, I'm just not into it. But I had to prove something to myself. So this is my battle poem. So this is me as a poet pretending to be a rapper. That's a poet. Okay. It's called Randomly Shouting Out My Own Name. I gotta be serious because I'm in battle mode, okay? Battle mode, shit! I'm 007 licensed to kill lesser poets. Make you hire a lawyer, get your affairs in order, draft a will, lesser poets. Lyrical Grim Reaper Glows is 187 homicide to lesser poets. I make them die, then watch their mama cry. Autopsy then CSI, lesser poets. What I'm trying to say is that I slays these lesser poets. Toe tags, body bags, drops them in the grave, lesser poets. Y'all looking at me like, Lord, please don't hurt them, but I must serve them, and frankly, y'all, they deserve this. Running around this portrait scene pretending that they better than me, mistaking my meekness for weakness, but I'm grown. And my mama ain't raised no punks. I let them make it for a while, now they out of luck. Red or blue, they gonna have to decide which wire they gonna cut. Explosion ended, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Oops, their time is up. And here's the truth. I hope that they did deploy the troops. Hope that they listened to the rumors and all the discussion, because unlike Iraq, I've definitely got weapons of mass destruction. Unfortunately, there will be more than a few casualties when this war of words is done. Yet I was the one who wanted to keep the peace. But they wanted to battle, and that's when I released the beast. And honestly, y'all, this ain't even me. Because I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'm an exotic dish like ordering sushi and getting a blowfish. Prepared correctly, I'm succulent and quite delish, but cut me wrong and it'll be your death wish. Bring me back home to San Antonio, where we're always in the mood for Mexican food. It was hot, thick, and chunky. You can call me Pace Picante, make it what's good even better. Glover, drop a little spice into your life if you just let her. And don't let the big girl thing fool you. Believe the size 0 nonsense if you want to. But I got curves like a bottle and a walk like a model. Brother's got a sickness for this thickness that I'm doing. Blows deep. Deeper than minds that have been hypnotized. Deeper than Greek tragedies, too complex to be analyzed. I got fire and poetry shut up in my bones, radiating more heat than a furnace. Yet you only see about 10% of me. The other 90 is way too deep beneath the surface. Glows like icebergs. Sick and sucker, so they call me Titanic. Hot like lava, so they call me volcanic. Glow as fuego. I'd be a liar if I said I didn't spit fire. Standing in front of me will get you KFC recipe, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Y'all been feeling me from the first moment that I spoke. Every word out my mouth so warm, make y'all fall out from heat stroke, cause it goes hot. Like the summer leather seats and those shoes on your feet when you walk down the street, glow is hot. Like the sheets when he do me, the barrel of my Uzi, the water in my jacuzzi glows hot. Like jalapeno seeds, like babies when they teeth, like fried chicken grease glow is hot. Like the sauna for 20 minutes, your car radiator with no water's in it glows hot. Like fitted baseball caps and running 10 laps, curling iron burns on your scalp glow is hot. Like the surface of the sun will set the world on fire, leave 3rd-degree burns that smells hot. And they're not. Thank you, Barbara.
1, 2, 3, 4, United States Marine Corps!
Hey, that's for my boss who apparently forgot it's Black History Month. Oh, that's true. So, shout out to all the kings and queens that we have to celebrate every day. For those who don't know me, I'm writing my life story in poetry books. So we're currently in the military days. This first poem is called Iran. My son is the Son of God, Paul. Father held me up to the ceiling, 32 years old, drunkenly yelling at all the relatives in the room. He was God, and I was his son. I don't remember looking down at my family, mother apologizing when they exited. 1984, mother grasped my arm, walking toward his thick mustache at Almanzor Park. Stillness in the pine trees, empty baseball diamonds, a silent suite in Tai Chi poses. Hello, Paul. Call him Dad. He's your father. Paul sits on the field next to a jogging trail. Mother, arm's length. Soft words are spoken. I can't hear them. Playing on the exercise equipment, watching their last kiss. Reaching the pull-up bar, Paul rises slowly to assist. 4-year-old hands grip on. Come on, Vincent, pull. Hanging, losing a grip, finger by slippery finger. Giant hands secure my ribs. Blades of hair on each dorsal, pushing my body up, over the bar, grinning over at her. We have to go. In Iran's distraught. Mother cinches my elbow, marching faster away, glancing over my shoulder to God's darkened frown. In the back seat, Mother says, count the palm trees until I sleep. Each tree careening out the window. Hey, so this military one is kind of a, I hope people will read it and they'll understand, you know, my story, being a Marine during 9/11, but understanding what this country's doing and brown people and black people going over there and coming back and getting killed here. And the violence being frontline bullet catchers for this country. Hey, so I didn't have a dad around, but I had a Marine uncle who told me, don't be a Marine. I asked him, what was it like when you were in Vietnam and they told you, you know, you're going to come home? This is his response. Chicano hero. Hey Jude, through the speakers of a radio playing in Vietnam, when you were told you're going home. The process, pack your uniforms and gear in the green sea bag, neatly, black and white pictures with Marines, cigarettes in mouth, shirtless and smiling, passport stamped, Okinawa, Japan. The cold Pacific gently embraced the Crimson Mountains to Los Angeles International, then a shuttle bus down to San Diego, to San Antonio Airport, and no one to greet you. You kiss the ground when you land, you call a cab. Hippies of the 60s protesting the war keep baby killer in their mouths, tight like the clothes in your sea bag. You strut on through. The cab driver is still one of the few to ever greet you with, thank you for your service. You don't remember his name. At home, on the west side of San Antonio, no welcome party. Just dad watching TV. No friends on the front lawn waiting with a beer. Nothing. You're all so kind. Hey, so my last poem, I have a lot of love for the west side and the south side of San Antonio. My family's from here 100 years back. So my book, Sasamora, is basically my eulogy to them because they're all gone now. This is called Brazos. The devil danced with the most beautiful women in the room before they noticed his feet. He ran away from the Chicanos who chased him into the bathroom of the Valle where he vanished and sulfur remained. He crept behind children playing Little League, hid under the bed of Chicano lovers making love, and laughed in our faces during the depression of our lives. And he was present when my tios died. We whispered, I love you, into Mike's ear while the devil massaged Mike's feet, saying, he can't hear you. He told Tony to leave the house and meet 5 bullets down the street, laughing and swimming in Tony's pool of blood. He picked up Danny off the toilet and threw him into the living room floor without air to breathe. He rode shotgun with Jody and infected him with AIDS and watched Jody die in a prison cell. He had been present at all our miseries because the reckless familia only knows to live on the thinnest edge of life and death. Every day with a methadone trip and heroin and liquor and worst of all, love. They made a fungus of love, mildew smiles, black rotted teeth, honey brown chests, with old English tattoos on spore-covered stomach muscles. Their drunken killer smiles dimpled, telling stories, our brazos wrapped around their shoulders. We, the naive, craved their empty promises. We were naive. Thank you, guys.
Came to the right.
that dress, Simon!
Didn't wake up like that.
All right, hi y'all. So I don't have most of my set memorized because ADHD is real and it happens, right? So I've got my handy dandy notebook and my phone that I'm going to be utilizing throughout my set.
Don't judge me. I'm going to start off with a piece that I have had the honor of being able to read at the Rally for Abortion Justice back in October. I'm just going to get right into it. I want to love Texas. I want to love the trees and the hills and the stars. I want to love my house. I want to love and live freely in the place I have called home my whole life. But it's more than that, right? And being black, queer, and femme doesn't earn reciprocity here. I learned early that Texas doesn't love me back. I learned early that Texas will do everything in its power to take mine away. I learned early that being who I am means having to fight for every morsel, but I look around today and I see a Texas that loves me back. I see a Texas that knows that I, along with every other person capable of getting pregnant, have the right to choose healthcare that is right for us, including access to abortions. I'm tired of all the tragic hypotheticals. So, to everyone here helping me find and see community in a different side of Texas, thank you.